Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This is going to be my August mid-month wrap-up, which I can't believe it's August already, and I can't believe it's already the middle of August at least. Like, I feel like August just began. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter video for a wrap-up, as in the first 16 days of the month, because I'm filming this on the 16th, I have only read 5 books, which normally by this point I'm usually at least like 8 or 9, sometimes more, but like usually about 8 or 9 books in. So that's just kind of like, oh, am I going to get to finish my TBR this month? I am praying I can, but we will just have to see. But let's just start off with the first book I read this month, which is All the Stars and Teeth by Adalyn Grace. And this I gave a 3.5. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And this book is about we follow Princess Amora of Visidia, I think that is how you pronounce the country, who is a animancer, who is someone that is able to like control and see souls and all of that. And when she is demonstrating to her country her powers to eventually become, to kind of prove that she can take up this high animancer role, something ends up going wrong, so she ends up being taken down to the prisons just temporarily, or so we think. She ends up getting rescued by a pirate named Bastian, and she agrees to help Bastian with this goal in mind. His part of the country is in danger and is the kind of like dark area of the country. Well, it's like little islands, but she agrees to help him without actually kind of realizing what fully is going on, and all of that. It ended up being a fun story, but not a lot stuck with me. Like, if something can stick with me from the book, it's automatically a book I love. This, I did enjoy it enough that I do plan on picking up the sequel. It is a interesting read. I do love the like different parts of the kingdom, and I especially love how we have mermaids. I love the mermaids in this. I really enjoyed it, but I felt some things fell a little flat. Other things were good. The ending especially had me just like, oh, so we're doing that. But yeah, I'd say 3.5 is like the right, it's like a 3.5. It would be a 4 if a few little things were different. Next we have The Bro Code by Elizabeth A. Seibert, and this story follows Nick and his group of friends, and they have this thing called the Bro Code, which is like a group slash set of rules that everyone in this group has to follow, or else they're breaking the Bro Code. But when Nick's best friend Carter's sister comes back after spending a year abroad doing schooling abroad, the rules end up getting broken and all of that. And I gave this a 3. I only gave this a 3-star because pretty much all of the boys were kind of idiots, and yes, they're meant to be teenage boys, but they felt like 5-year-olds sometimes. They did not feel like they were written well. There were some things that fell short, and even our main female character seemed a little bit annoying and a little bit all of that. Plus, there was some things that I felt were like unnecessary. Like, for example, we had a unnecessary bi character in this story simply just for the fact of, oh, we were like the group of boys were acting like slightly, I guess the word would be like, they were acting slightly homophobic in some sense, and finding out that one of their friends is actually bi changes that, when in reality it doesn't change what they said. Well, yes, they were joking, but you shouldn't joke about stuff like that. And as someone who identifies as bi, I felt like this character, like the character that came out as bi, was just kind of like, just to show representation, even though it literally was only to deal with a conversation, and that was basically it. Next we have The Red Squirrel of Magic by Cassandra, Clare, and this was a reread, and this I gave 5 stars. And The Red Squirrel of Magic is a book in the Shadowhunter Chronicles, which takes place between City of Glass and City of Fallen Angels, about Magnus and Alec. Magnus is a warlock and Alec is a shadow hunter, and it's them deciding to go on this kind of romantic vacation through Europe after a war happens, and it's end up that their trip gets ruined after we find out that Magnus started a cult hundreds of years ago, worshipping a demon, and he doesn't remember starting it at all. So they have to figure out how it was started, who's currently leading it, and ultimately disband it so that they can finish their vacation. And I obviously had to give this 5 stars. I absolutely love Magnus and Alec. They are some of my favorite characters from the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles. Like, they're both probably in my top 5, honestly. Definitely top 10, but like probably top 5. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say. Next we have The Mark of Athena by Riordan, and this is the 3rd book in the Heroes Olympus series. So I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without spoiling the first 2 entirely and all of that. But in this story we follow the children of Greek and Roman gods who end up having to come together and fight this bigger ultimate cause that we've yet to actually reach. Right now we are currently doing like mini quests to try and get there and all of that. This series is so fun. The first 2 books I loved. This one I loved. I did only give it 4 stars because I don't love it. Like, I love the characters. My favorite characters in this series are definitely Percy and Annabeth, but I also am slowly growing a soft spot for Leo. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say. And then finally we have Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, and this follows a girl named Bree Matthews who is 16 years old, and she just lost her mom, and she finds out that she's accepted into this like special academic program at a university that it's a program for like bright high school students. So she and her best friend Alice, they both get accepted and they go to this university to start these classes. But on their first day, before their first day of classes, they end up stumbling upon magic. And Alice is kind of the easiest way is like compelled to forget. And so is Bree, but Bree ends up remembering. And we find out that this magic is linked to this group called the Order, which our character Nick used to be a part of. And Bree convinces Nick to take her to this group to kind of join, and we go from there. We have like things like versions of like demons, and it is an entire like King Arthur and the Round's Table retelling type thing, and all of that. I don't really want to say more because I could spend 20 minutes talking about this, which I am. I'm going to be filming a review right after this, which isn't going to be released until sometime after September 15th when this book is released. But I love Bree as a character. I love the magic in this. I love Nick as a love interest and overall as a character. There is multiple other characters that I love. There is, obviously, Bree is a black woman, so there's reputation there, as well as there's a few other black characters which I love, and there's also multiple like LGBTQ plus characters which I love. Usually in books, or at least I've noticed, is a lot of the times you either get one or the other. You get POC, you get like person of color representation or LGBTQ representation, and in this you get both. You have some characters that are people of color, and then you have some characters that are LGBTQ plus characters. But those are the 5 books that I read in August so far. Stick around to the end of the month where you can see if I end up finishing my entire TBR. I have 6 books still to read from my TBR, plus I started a physical book, because I don't have any other physical books on my TBR. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!